Hi, I'm Virginia James, licensed clinical professional counselor with Chicago Personal Growth Institute. And today we're going to be talking about helping business professionals during this time of uncertainty. The COVID-19 pandemic has quickly changed the way that we work. The first issued nationwide social distancing directive took place by the US federal government on March 16, 2020. And many employers scrambled to put plans in place for their employees to work remotely. And for the first time in modern history, a nationwide lockdown began. The first work from home guidance is having significant effects on workers' anxiety levels, testing their confidence in their business leaders, and requiring them to adjust to new ways of working. For companies outside the tech sector, only 25% of Americans have worked from home. So this is a new experience for most professionals. And only 15% had days on which they worked from home prior to this, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Qualtrics, as you can see here, identified more than 1,000 working age employees who typically worked full-time in an office or on-site with their company and are now working remotely in response to the COVID-19 situation. Qualtrics measured how employees are managing this unprecedented change. They were asked about their habits, their well-being, their productivity, and how the new situation was affecting them. The poll was conducted in the United States between March 19th and 20th in 2020. So as we can see here, let's look at what was shared. Workers discussed their increased anxiety, which includes general stress about income and job prospects, alarming news and social media posts about the COVID-19 virus, and concerns about contracting or spreading the virus, as well as the need to take care of kids and the family at home or the perceived pressures to be working all the time. Pressure was put on working moms. One mom even said from the article in Qualtrics, "I'm expected to do my job from home, which I've never done. I'm in charge of my 1-year-old and I'm alone all day. I'm unsure of how to do my job effectively from home." One of our own clients, who I'll keep anonymous, shared, "Working from home is going to be hard. I'm going through a divorce and have 2 kids at home with me all day. My 4-year-old is running around and sometimes distracting while I'm on business meetings. The 12-year-old is homeschooling herself. But it crosses my mind if I'm going to have a job much longer in this time of unpredictability." So let's take a look at how workers can adapt, because uncertainty can be scary. People can eventually deal with change. That is true. And while the majority of people report feeling support from their immediate supervisor in the shift from working at home, a much smaller portion of people feel unclear about what's expected for them. Clarity from managers goes a long way to reduce anxiety and increase productivity among newly remote workers. And according to the data in Qualtrics, as you see on this slide, 1 in 3 remote workers report only understanding what is expected of them. And for those who lack clear expectations, they're more likely to feel less productive at home. I'm showing you this data to talk about it later in the presentation. Let's address some barriers to working from home. Continuing with this Qualtrics data, many feel less productive because of unfamiliar at-home working conditions, such as poor Wi-Fi, an unfamiliar working at-home environment, simply adjusting to the change, or family responsibilities. The biggest barrier was not, in fact, distractions, but a different setup at the home. One of our own clients actually reported that I was home a full week before I went to the office and lugged home my dual monitor system from work. That was all I could do to take initiative. Not to mention, at first, my Wi-Fi connection was really poor and wasn't working as well as I needed. And that was a major hurdle. My boss had to take over and pick up some slack. So then I was worried about my job security. Additionally, problems with internet quality at home rather than the work was at 23%, virtual desktop issues hindering a worker's normal pace was at 10%, restricted access to needed software at home was at a 4%. 2/3 of issues have nothing to do with distractions or other home issues, and managers could be open to discussing and resolving these problems, perhaps even contributing to a higher speed access for their employees, ensuring systems are optimized as much as possible. Not to mention, employees have limited computer literacy, so what they think could be an unsolvable issue at their current home setup maybe just needs some IT attention and extra support. So one key here is that communication is imperative. The biggest struggle from working from home that I want to point out is unplugging after work. It debunks a perception that employees may not be putting in their full days at home. Also, the second one, as you can see here, loneliness leads to the discussion of managers needing to find ways to keep the culture and the camaraderie alive in the working remotely system. I'll talk about loneliness a little bit more later, as that is something that our clients struggle with. Not to mention number 3 on the list, communication, as mentioned before, which is already shown to be a cause of anxiety and a barrier in working remotely. There's helpful tips to be working at home, and these tips can help manage stress. For example, create a designated workspace or multiple workspaces at home. Prepare a to-do list in order to set forth what you want to accomplish for the day and stay organized. This helps with routine. Prepare for the day as if you're going to the office. Schedule breaks throughout the day and try to leave the house at least once a day. People often miss their routine with commuting, so keeping normalcy as best as possible is important. At Chicago Personal Growth Institute, we like to focus on stress relief. We like to have an arsenal of coping skills and introduce our clients to those coping skills as a way to tune into yourself, especially now when activities are somewhat limited. These might include mindfulness, including walking, eating, self-care, like good hygiene, hot or cold showers when we're feeling stressed, meditation, exercise, creative works. Stress relievers have a positive effect on the mental health and physical health that you're having. It shows decreased cortisol levels and improved mood, lower blood pressure. It improves mental clarity when you're using your coping skills and having a good array of them. Boosts your immune system, and it helps you fill up your cup and energize you when you're feeling drained. And a lot of people are feeling drained right now. At times, people don't even realize that they aren't taking care of themselves or they're feeling overwhelmed. And stress management coping skills or having those tools ready for you to use could help you as well as our other clients. So let's talk about different coping skills areas that you may or may not be familiar with. Inner strength. Inner strength is one where we talk about self-care and what that looks like. Setting up maybe boundaries for yourself and communicating those to people at work. We also like to look at balancing thoughts. We do have an ability to balance our thoughts, and in doing so, it can relieve stress or kind of make things seem more rational, easily handleable. Getting good sleep is another one. We talk about meditation and our sleep routine as being very important for our overall well-being. And we like to talk about practicing mindfulness. When we slow down, we tune into our senses. We help our clients with breath work, and we help them with meditating. Having an idea of mindfulness means that you're not judging the thoughts that are automatic in your head. When we talk about inner strength, we like to look at how to practice loving communication to yourself. Ask yourself, how can I simplify things for myself right now? If the kids are at home, a self-compassion statement might sound something like, this is a period of adjustment for all of us, and with time it will improve. It's okay to grieve right now. The kids are missing their friends and perhaps routine. Another compassionate self-talk statement, for example, is instead of dwelling on the negatives, I'm going to stick to the facts. We have access to food and essentials. We can be grateful for what we have. Masks and gloves will help protect us. It's okay to ask for help too. That's something that we maybe aren't communicating. Along with inner strength, we want to be able to honor healthy boundaries. So we help our clients with that too. If your workload is feeling overwhelming, you might want to ask for help. Or you might want to learn how to take time to develop a routine at home. Practicing limits with work is important. So we check in with our clients about working at designated times only and not checking emails in the morning or after you want to unplug, and having a solid stop time to your day. When you are practicing inner strength, you might want to talk to a trusted person, such as a counselor or your support network, especially during this stressful time. Also, inner strength means practicing or getting new hobbies, balancing out the shelter in place that might be happening for you, or just the slowness of this summer. So when we talk about effective communication with others as a sign of inner strength, we want to try to use transparency with our coworkers, our boss, our friends, or our family. It's okay to be vulnerable at this time, even though that's hard for a lot of people. This is a good way to open the conversation with managers, and it helps retain the culture and the camaraderie and teamwork during it. Zoom chats are really powerful right now. And you can even practice or set up Zoom chats with your coworkers as a coffee date or a happy hour. We want to use I statements if you're having a hard time communicating your feelings. And I statements is something that we go over with our clients. It helps communicate those stronger emotions when you want to be maybe emotionally reactive. An example of this might be showing vulnerability in the sense of, I feel lonely at home some days and I would really like to have a coffee chat with you. Connect with your friends and family, reach out to them. It helps with socializing. And by showing inner strength, maybe you want to stay away from complaining or stay away from the social media. Tuning into positive news or positive social media could really help at this time. So let's look at other ways that we can help our clients. We like to balance thoughts. We work on those automatic negative thoughts that might be coming in to the mind right now as there's a lot going on. And we all have negative thoughts from time to time. So we try to normalize that for the people that we help. And we want to work on balancing them and finding alternative thought strategies. For example, assumptions is a pretty big one, or future predicting. That might sound like something along the lines of, this is going to be forever. This is the new normal. And that's an assumption. We really don't know that, so we can look at the facts. If you find yourself making assumptions, future predicting, or jumping to conclusions, try to stick to the facts and limit that social media or news time, and look at the rational side of things or the wise mind. And maybe a statement like, I would prefer to know more, but I'm going to take things as they come and stay informed is a better response. If you find yourself having black or white thinking, try giving yourself some self-compassion. Thinking in those all or nothing terms can actually lead you to be fairly harsh on yourself. And an example might sound like, if I go to Target one time, I'm going to get the virus. And that would be a good way of keeping yourself in a highly anxious state. So practice self-care and like those clean habits of wearing a mask and using hand sanitizer and washing your hands, of course. But an example to kind of reframe it might sound something like, when I go to Target, I will wear a mask and wash my hands and keep distance from others. Mental filtering is a big one too, as far as an automatic negative thought goes. It's when you only see the negative side of things instead of the positives. So when thinking about all the bad that's going on in the world and how disheartening even this change can be working from home, think about what you can be grateful for. Having gratitude to have a job and food on the table and money coming in, summer being here, and glimpses of light of how you can help yourself or help others might be good for you, because there are positives going on. You just might be struggling to see them. Another way to cope is by sleeping. But sleep is a really important factor in our overall well-being. Now's the time to get those 8+ hours of sleep if you can. And with no commute, you might have more time to exercise, plan for a routine, or create a new morning routine or new evening routine, for example. If you're having racing thoughts before you go to sleep, we have solutions for that. We help our clients with relaxation through the use of body scans or meditation, for example. A body scan is where you are tightening and then releasing and breathing through each part of the body, from either the head to your toes or the toes to your head. And this can help relieve anxiety and stress. Definitely try to avoid social media before you sleep, and maybe learn to read or meditate instead. Hot showers, aromatherapy, self-massage on the hands or on the feet all help with getting relaxed. And they always say use the bedroom for sleep only if possible. That helps you create a sacred space. And one of the last coping skills that I would like to talk about today is mindfulness. Mindfulness is interesting. It's a good time to practice mindfulness right now, as we have no other choice but to slow down with shelter in place. But it's a concept that can be used forever and always. It's a concept that counselors often use, actually, to help us take a closer look at slowing down and observing and not judging our surroundings or the thoughts in our head. This could be going for a walk and observing all that's around you. I mean, we might have limited social interactions right now, but observing is a great thing to do. Taking time to meditate in the mornings is also an option to get better at mindfulness. That way you can tune in and tap into your senses of smell, taste, touch, and others. Even touching soft objects at home or petting our cats and dogs or pets can ease feelings of loneliness and can make us feel comforted and tuning into that sense of touch. And aromatherapy can help stimulate our sense of smell. That can help us slow down and breathe. Practicing deep breathing exercises not only is good for lung health right now, but it's also great for relaxation purposes. So again, I'm Virginia James, and I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor. I'm introducing Chicago Personal Growth Institute. And I wanted to show you a couple of charts to introduce to you how we're responding to the COVID crisis and how we work with our clients. We have experienced therapists who foster a mind-body connection, and we meet our clients where they are and adapt to the ever-changing needs and transitions of those. We're GLBTQIA friendly, as always, and I'd love for you to check us out on our website, cpgichicago.com. And Jeff is a licensed clinical professional counselor. He's got a background in transpersonal psychology, and he helps our clients look at their inherent nature, creating a personal space for growth. Bob, or Robert Stoner, is an LCSW. He's got an interactive approach, and he works with individuals and couples in their life transitions. Elisa is an LCPC, licensed clinical professional counselor again, and she's an art therapist who works with families and children. She kind of gives an alternative to talk therapy at times with art therapy. I'm Virginia, as I mentioned before. I'm an LCPC, and I love to connect with my clients using a mind-body approach in a holistic manner. I utilize cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps us understand how the feelings and our thoughts are connected to our actions, and I like to meet the client where they are. Stephanie has a PsyD and focuses on relationships and concerns such as bipolar disorder or obsessive compulsive disorder, and how these affect the individual, families, and couples according to their personal growth. And Mark does a lot of couples therapy. He's also a licensed clinical social worker. He has a master's in divinity and has a special focus for those who want to integrate spiritual growth as part of their focus. But we help individuals, couples, and families as necessary. So, how to contact us? Well, we're located downtown in the Loop at 223 West Jackson Boulevard, Suite 360, and we're offering sessions remotely, and our website is listed here. And if you're thinking about returning to work or what that might look like, we're here to support you during those stressors, as well as the recent stressors that have happened in Chicago. Please ask us about what insurance and EAPs we accept. We're here for you during this time of uncertainty, and we're here for you always. So again, I hope that we talk to you soon, and thank you for sitting through this webinar.